All right, guys, welcome back. It's part two. Didn't want to make the first one too long, so I chop it up so I can give you the next side of this thing. So I ended the first part of the video looking at what my provider told me is supposed to be considered to be a plateau versus just your body adjusting to, the weight that it's trying to find. And what I was advised of is that when your body goes through a stall or a plateau, it has to do so for a consistent period of about 4 weeks, right? Where you're not seeing any changes at all in the scale, and you're just not you're not changed anything about your everyday life or your everyday situation, but things are just not moving scale wise. So for me, I would have gone through week 17 and week what am I talking about? Week 17, guys. I would have gone through week 19 and week 20, seeing a change of 2 pounds from 160 to 150. I'm not counting the points. So week 19 to week 20, I would have been 160 to 158 point something, but I'm just squaring it out. So week 19 to week 20, I would have lost 2 pounds. However, from week 20 to week 21, the scales have not moved. So technically, I have been on 2 weeks the same weight. Is that a plateau? Based on what I've been told, no. So I'm not going to tell you that I've plateaued or I've stalled yet until I see that 4 week marker. And if I'm still at 158, then I'll, you know. But I also want to um say that I also did in the week that I'm speaking of, I actually did go as low as 153. But as I said, my body is doing something and it climbed back up, and I don't know how to make an excuse or justification for that point, for that 5 pound increase. And I'm not even trying to explain it, guys, because as I said, there are non-scale victories that I've experienced within these so-called stalls. Yeah. So let us look at what my 5 month milestone, my trajectory has been for the last 5 months. But let me do some housekeeping. I know this is part two, but still. Those of you who are new here, welcome. I'm Shelly. This is my YouTube channel, Conversations with Shelly. I do more than just GLP-1, but it's a part of my journey, and it's a part of something that I wanted to raise because I'm so passionate about, you know, health and having and living your best life, whether that be health wise, whether it be professionally, whether it be personally. And that is what my channel is about. It's just ensuring that you get to that place where you find that need and desire to have that fun filled full work life balance. And part of my work life balance is health and getting myself to a place of health to have that longevity that I've always desired growing up in terms of, fullness. So, welcome. And for those of you who have been here from with me for however long I've been doing this new thing for, welcome back. Always a pleasure to have you. Do appreciate and love you for sticking and staying and always commenting, sharing things with me as I go along. Now, back to regular programming. So on my 5 month trajectory, which would have ended, I believe, on week 20, yeah, I would have lost a total of 57 pounds. And that is not itself. If I had confetti, I would have dropped them down. To lose almost 60 pounds in 5 months is an awesome feat. But it does come with concerns because it's considered in the medical books to be drastic weight loss. And drastic weight loss is never something that is recommended because of the impact it can have on your metabolic system, your physical system as well. Because listen, when you drop weight so fast, you lose muscle mass, your skin elasticity and collagen is affected. You are also going through a lot of metabolic changes, such as as I mentioned in my previous video, hair loss and all these things. Now, all these things are things that you have to speak to your medical provider about. I'm not a medical person. I do recommend that before you go on any of these protocols, any of these programs, any of these medications, ensure that you're having the conversation with your medical practitioner. Yeah. So 5 months in, my first 3 months, which started on the 18th of August and ended somewhere about the 10th of November. I was on Monjoro, branded trizepatide. And on that, I lost a total of 34 pounds. Now, comparatively, how does the branded version of trizepatide compare to the component version? For me, one and the same. And I think if I was to be completely honest, I do prefer the component version. I know I dial back and I tell you all the time, I may have to take things, I may have to say things and take them back. I remember in a video I spoke about branded version being where I want to go back to because I love the purity and efficacy of it all, and that is still my position, guys. But in terms of the results, there's really been no difference in the results. The same amount of weight loss has been achieved, the same amount of um, glucose level support has been achieved, the same amount of inflammation level and cholesterol levels, all of those have still been achieved on the component version. Um, the additives have been excellent because, as I said, whatever was added to my compound to make it, distinguishable from the component version has assisted me in terms of energy, in terms of um, skin rejuvenation, all of that, has been great. So, um, August 18 to November 10, branded version, 34 pounds down. November 10 or 11 to January 20th. Let me make note of that. Yeah. January 20th, compounded trizepatide via Mochi and Gobi Meds, which I'm going to do a review on both and some others. I lost a total of 23 pounds. So the branded version, yes, I lost a little bit more, but it was also over a longer period of time. Because remember, one I was on for 3 months and the other I was on for 2 months. So if I were to do an equal comparison, I would have possibly lost the same amount of weight in the range of 30 plus. Remember now, 5 months, so the 5 months is divided into 3 and 2. 3 months branded, 2 months compound. 3 months 34, 2 months 23. So do the math. If I had the equal amount of months, if it was a 6 month review, I probably would have gotten the same amount of weight loss. 34, 34. Okay? So again, not really comparing apples to apples because I've been on compounded version for a less period of time than the branded version. That's the essence of it. Yeah. So let me break down the period for you. Total 5 months, remember guys, 3 months branded, 2 month compounded. So let us go through week by week. So my first introduction to a GLP-1 slash GIP-1 Monjoro branded, I did it for 9 weeks. And how the 9 week was broken down is that the first 4 week, which is week 1 to week 4, I was on the lowest dose, which is 2.5. And that is what they call the starter dose, which is the dose that they give you in order to see how your body will acclimatize to the medication, what GI problems you're going to be having, whether it's going to be constipation, nausea, vomiting, um, fatigue, dizziness, lots of things that happen within the first 4 weeks. Now, go back and watch my week 1 to week 5. You'll see all of the side effects that I had then. Fatigue would have killed me. And me not me telling about my insomnia from your child. Fatigue would have killed me. Me sleep like a baby for the 5 weeks. I slept. When I tell me, I said, no man, if me never know better, I think I was with child. But she was sleeping. Then week 5 to week 9, still on the branded version, but I titrated up. I went to 5 milligrams. 5 milligram was in my mind my magic dose, meaning I just loved how 5 milligram made me feel. Wasn't hungry, wasn't tired. All of the GI things just didn't even appear to be there. It was pretty, as I said, it was my golden dose. I just thought it was the best dose ever until I reached week maybe 8 or 9, and I was just thinking, I'm hungry every time. Like I was getting hungry like really, really often. So I spoke to my provider, spoke to my doctor, and I said, hey, listen, I don't think my appetite is being suppressed that it was 7 weeks ago or, you know, however many weeks gone. And that's when we both agreed that we would have titrated up, and I titrated to 7.5. Um, no, that's not true. Not true. So yes, I spent week 10 to week 16. So let me go back and correct it. So even though I spent 9 weeks on the compounded on the branded version, both at the 2.5 and the 5 milligram, 9 weeks. So week 1 to 4, I was on 2.5, the starter dose. Then I jumped from week 5 to week 9 on the 5 milligram, still unbranded, 5 milligram. Started to feel less satiety somewhere around week 15, week 14, 15. Spoke with my provider then, explained that even though for the last 6 weeks, from week 10 to week, say, 15 or 16, um, I thought it was my golden dose. I thought this is a dose I'm going to stay on forever. Now, put the trial aside and what the clinical trials have said, that you should be titrating every 4 weeks. We have now come to understand within this community of persons who have experienced it that if things are not broken, don't fix it. If 5 milligrams work for you and you're losing weight and all the other things that are happening in your body is being modified or corrected, stay on your 5 dose because there's not much dose to go through. We cap at 15, right? So you really don't want to be jumping every 4 weeks to another dose because by the time you do, you may not achieve the goal that you want to achieve. For whatever reason you're on these GLP-1s for, you may not achieve it by the time you titrate every 4 weeks and get to 15 milligrams, and then you're going, where do I go from here? Because the only way from 15 is back down. So titrate as less as you can and understand the reason for titrating. So for me, even though the appetite suppression was weakening and my satiety was not as strong, I still tried with the 5 milligram to hell and back. I walked with that thing to hell and back, hoping that it would have gone away, meaning I would not feel the need and desire to want to titrate. But titration was a must because the appetite was not as powerful as strong as it was in week 10 to say week 15 or week 14. And I started to feel the hunger pangs. I started to hear about the food noise and I started to smell and taste things that were not usually a part of my diet or part of my daily intake. So I decided that in week 17, I was going to titrate to the 7.5 milligrams. And I did so. Um, First, I did it as a microdose. So I did a microdose of 5 milligrams first, and when I reached maybe day 5, which is the half life of the drug, I took another 2.5. So I microdosed, right? Oh, not microdose. Sorry, I split dose. Sorry, guys. The jargon within this community. Hmm. So I split dose week 17 because I was really trying to maintain on my 5 milligrams. I really was trying. So I went Monday to Friday on with the 5, and then by Friday I was hungry. I was hearing the food noise. I was looking for food. I was binging on stuff, and I said, you know what? Let me take an additional 2.5. And I squared off week 17 with a split dose of my first 7.5 in this combination fashion. And that was when I came to the realization that I may very well need to, what you call it there now, I may very well need to titrate fully into a 7.5. So week 18, 19, 20, 21, I've been on 7.5. Um, I don't think I may have to dial back. I may have to take it back. But I don't think I'll be increasing to a 10 milligrams. Absolutely not. I don't want to lose any more hair. I also don't want to get the Ozempic face. And me have some parents there. Not parents, let me just correct this. Me have one mother there. She is the truth teller. She don't spare no feelings. Yes, yes, mom, you. And my mother is the first one to say, girl, you don't stay good. My mother and my brother are the first one to say, oi, you don't look good. The maga face the way I go on there, we don't like it. And this is not even what is called an Ozempic face, because I still look plump in my face. But them make me know say, oi, Jamaican parents and Jamaican siblings, them no play for keep it real. And my brother and my mother make me know say, look here, try start eat some food. Try do something. Cause you see the face the way you carry around, me wouldn't like it. So I don't think I would be doing any titrations beyond 7.5, right? I may have to take that back, but we'll see. So as I gain um muscle mass, I think that may be it. As I increase my protein, I think that may be increasing in terms of the weight as well. But certainly I'm gonna maintain the 7.5 as long as I can. And where I'm at now in terms of my weight, I'm at 158. I don't know how me get back to 158, guys. Still a puzzle to me because as I told you, I went down as low as 153 2-3 weeks ago. I don't know what I'm going this one. Must stress. I don't know. I don't know. But I'm not too worried about it. Cause me know me not eat. I mean, I know what the body I tried. I mean, I know she try hold on pan something because she figures say me I starve it. Me feel like that the body I do. She eat a hold on pan it. But go on hold on pan it. Cause it's true me never really did slim from morning. Me was always, yeah, comfortable in my skin. So hold on pan it. Week 22, I'm currently in week 22. Don't think I'll be doing any of the bad things I did the week before, such as not taking my protein and my water. I'm committed this week to doing that. I've started. Um, right. So I gave you a breakdown of what my last 5 months have been in terms of dose, in terms of stalls, in terms of what week I felt the desire to titrate or remain or did a microdose or split dose. Also the you know just how I went about chopping up those 5 months week by week and what happened. I don't necessarily want to do a summary of it again, but I know some part of this was confusing. So I'm just gonna quickly just go back over it. And I have not mastered the art of editing anything yet, guys, where I can put stuff in and put stuff all over. So bear with me. She's new to this, but she's true to this. So let me go again. Week 1 to week 9, I did the branded version, Monjoro Trizepatide. Week 1 to 4 of that 9 weeks, I did a 2.5 milligram, the starter dose. Week 5 to 9, I titrated to 5 milligram of the branded version. I take that off because I said that without any errors. Week 10 to week 21, which I'm now in week 22. So week 10 to week 21, which was last week, I have been on the compounded version of trizepatide. Week 10 to week 16, I did a 5 milligram dose. However, somewhere between week 10 and week 16, I'm going to say right about week 15 to week 14, my satiety, my appetite suppression was weakening. I started to hear the food noise. I started to go through all of that and I decided to titrate up. Now, in week 17, I did a split dose with the aim of titrating to 7.5. So I started my week 17, and my week 17 started, and I did my usual 5 milligram. But because of the half-life of these drugs, half-life meaning it start to leave your system right about day 5. It's supposed to be this medication is a 7-day medication. So the half-life is 5 days. So by day 5, you start to hear the food noise, you start to feel the hunger coming on, you start to feel all these things. So in week 17, by the 5th day, I started to feel the hunger, and I was still on the 5 milligram part of week 17. Now, when I realized that it was not cooling down the noise and not all of them, something wasn't happening, I did a split dose, and I injected with 2.5 in addition to the 5. So in week 17, I did a split dose, but I totaled the 7.5. And since week 17 to week 21, I have been maintaining the 7.5. And that is the summary. Now, you can go back to the previous part 1 of this weekly update, and you can see the side effects that happened for the weeks that I've been on the 7.5, which is 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. So a total of 5 weeks on the 7.5 milligrams, and you can go and look back at what my side effects have been. And those 5 weeks of the 7.5 have been the most side effects I've had, and the most noticeable ones as well. Like, as I said, the hair loss, the chills, um, yeah, yeah. So I'm currently in week 22. Week 22 would have started for me yesterday, which is the last day of January. So I'm now day 2 of week 6 on 7.5. Yeah. And of course, I'll give you week 22 update next week, same time, when I'm in week 23. Yeah. I still want to do a review of my compounded version providers. I will do it. I just want to do everybody justice. I don't want to malign anybody in any way, shape, or form, but I will speak the truth, and I will be honest about what I experience comparatively. So, thank you again. This has been really real, and I tell you, I'm as real as it gets when it comes to my truth and my channel and my journey and my conversations that I have with you. And I do have a conversation coming up. This has nothing to do with GLP-1, but stick around until I drop that one as well. And I haven't done a random ramble in a while. And for those of you who know, my random rambles are hilarious. I'm going to have a very, you know, hilarious slash serious one coming up. And I will drop that, hopefully, if not today, tomorrow. But thank you as always, guys. It's always my pleasure to have you. Always consider liking, sharing, subscribing. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. And as always, walk with me on this journey. I really do appreciate you being here. And until I see you next time, take care.